Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Shai, Waharakha Kodash, Woj Yahweh, his name is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, that's whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is his true name, and the Rakha Kodash, that is the Holy Spirit. And I would like to also give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all you brothers out there. And I just want to do a quick lesson, all right, that's based on, slowing it down, okay, taking a break and, making time to serve your power, all right, which our power is whom? It's Yahweh Bashem Shai, all right? And the reason why I was pondering about this today is because the last, I would say about 2 weeks, maybe even going on 3, I've been having a lot of things go on, a lot of major things that's happening in my life, and I've just been feeling so busy, burnt out, and I feel like I haven't had time to, make lessons, watch as many videos, and, I don't like that. I like being very active, I like teaching, I like, being in tune with things, all right? And, it just made me think about it. You got to slow down. Now, of course, there's times in your life where you got to handle, this, carnal business that the Lord has you in at times, because the Lord puts you in certain situations so you can experience something, all right? And, with that experience, you obtain more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right? But at the end of the day, we got to make sure that we're, taking time out of our day, to serve Yahweh Bashem Shai, to, make sure that we're connected to our power, okay? And, you don't want to get too caught up with the affairs of this life. And, let me get that real quick. It's in the book of Timothy. It speaks about that. Because you got to remember, all right, that Yahweh Bashem Shai chose us, okay? And with that being said, since the Lord woke us up, he gave us this gift of faith, we got to make sure that, we serve our power, okay? Remember, Yahweh Bashem Shai comes first. Everything else revolves around this truth. These things are put on the back burner. You see what I'm saying? All right? And you can't forget that. Okay? But let me get this. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3. Slakia, chapter 2. And I'm going to start at 3. And it reads here, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who had chosen him to be a soldier." Okay? And the Lord chose us to be, these, righteous soldiers. Okay? So we can't get entangled with the affairs of this life, like these people. These people are caught up with, the NFL, the NBA, what their woman thinks. The next time they could go to, a club, a party, they can't wait to celebrate Christmas and have a happy new year. All right? You see? That's their mindset. That's what they're focused on. And you see, we're looking past this place. Okay? We understand that according to Micah 2:10, this place is not our rest. And, we're just pilgrims in this place. And a pilgrim, all they're doing is just passing, passing through the area. They're going from A to B. That's it. Hey, we're focused on what? Destination salvation. You see? While the rest of our people, right, the 2/3, they're caught up in the American, dream, which is nothing but an illusion and a nightmare. Okay? That's it. That's what they're caught up in. We got to continue to have our eyes single and to stay focused. Because remember, at the end of the day, this world is going to pass away. You're eventually going to have to get rid of that job that you have, that business, right? That house, apartment, whatever it is. Because at some point, they're going to push the MOTB to the point where if you don't have it, you're not going to function in this society that Esau has set up. Okay? And you're going to have to, let it all go. You're just going to have to let it go. And that's a good thing because, remember, the things that are promised to us is far greater than the things in this world. Far greater. Remember, this is a polluted and tainted society. Hey, the scriptures say what in Revelation? I think it's the 21st chapter says what? A new heaven and a new earth. Right? It talks about that. That's what we're focused on. All right? See, hey, as the elder brother out here, Jeremiah, he has stated many a times to brothers in our camp, and I'm sure he said it, in his lessons and when he's out there teaching on the highways and byways. He's mentioned this multiple times. How look, we're not here to be, dad of the year, husband of the year, right, son of the year. No, we're not. We're not here for that. All right. And we're here to be soldiers of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay? We're here to prophesy, to teach. That's it. That's our mission. That's what the Lord has programmed us to do. You see? So all that lovey-dovey stuff, now of course I'll say this, just a side note. Hey, if you spend a little bit of time with your wife, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But when it gets to the point where you're all lovey-dovey with her, you're on the family life, it's distracting you from this truth. Now it's an issue. When you're constantly at that job, doing OT, or you got a business and you're constantly getting contracts to the point where you're not, showing up to camp, showing up to class, whatever the case may be. Now it's an issue. You see? Now it becomes an issue. All right? And you can't, put this truth, like I said earlier, to the back burner. No. Because look, you got to remember, the Lord, he's the one that giveth and taketh away. All those things that you start, putting first, before Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, hey, the Lord will strip that away from you and then make your life a living hell. Okay? Because remember, according to Exodus, I believe that's the 20th chapter, it talks about how what? The Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, is what? A jealous power. So if you're putting these things first, the Lord's jealous. I'll say this for an example. You got a woman, right? And she starts putting, hey, the kids before you, her job, her quote unquote career, her, her parents, her coworkers, whatever the case may be. Hey, you're going to be jealous. And what does it say in the book of Proverbs? What? Jealousy is the rage of a man. All right? Then you're going to get furious. And then what are you going to want to do? Execute judgment. And that's the spirit that the Lord's in. You put these other things before him, he's going to be furious and he's going to whoop that ass, man. Because remember, these things now are becoming idols. You see? That's what starts happening. They start becoming your God, whatever the case may be. All right? So don't get distracted with this world. Now, of course, you got to handle business from time to time. No doubt about it. It happens. And like I said, because the Lord puts you in certain situations so you can get experience, so then you become more wise at the end of the day. Okay? And then you can help guide, the men, that are around you. You see? Okay? But hey, at the end of the day, at the end of it all, you got to put Yahweh Bashim Shai first. Because what does it say in the book of Ecclesiastes? It's a lakia that I'm doing more quoting. I'm doing it in transit right now. I said I've been having a lot go on. And I haven't had as much time to get these lessons in. It's actually irking my spirit right now. Ecclesiastes, that's what I wanted. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 says here, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Okay? So look, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Fearing Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and keeping his commandments. And then look, we're going to get judged on what we do, on this earth. Okay? That's why also, as it says in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter, whatever you find in your hand, do it with all thy might. And look, the Lord, bestowed us this truth, right? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And now we got to go all out. We got to go all out. And what else is there to do in this place, I'll say this, women get boring. Kids get boring. Traveling gets boring. Look, I've done a bunch of stuff in my life, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. I've been with all sorts of women. I've got children. I've traveled. Okay? I've lived in the ghetto. I've lived in good areas, man. The Lord has put me in a lot of different places. I've been in a lot of situations. And look, at the end of the day, this place has just got to go. We need Yahweh Bashim Shai to save us. We need the Lord to save us. That's it. We need deliverance from this place. All right, as I like to say, we need to be Enoch out of this situation, man. Okay, just like Enoch, Lord had to translate him. All right, basically deliver him via the chariots, what this place calls the UFOs, and be saved from all the evils and the wickedness that was happening. So how much more now when things are, evil's at its peak, basically. All right. Look, in the next couple of years, with the way this world's going, if it were to continue, right? In 10 years, you might have a law where if you're just a straight male, you're going to get thrown in jail. They might try to force you to be with the sodomite. You know what I'm saying? Oh, a pedophile walks up to your child and wants to get freaky with them, and you defend your child, you attack that pedophile. Now all of a sudden you got a hate a crime being charged on you. That pedophile is actually not even gonna go to jail. Actually, you are, buddy. You're gonna deal with 5 years. It's getting to the point where all the food that we're eating is literally fake. You know, because you saw a past. Was it the FDA passed that they can sell you 3D printed meat and not label it. So you could go to Costco. You could go to Walmart, Trader Joe's, wherever. I don't know where people shop, right? All these, I don't care where it's at. You're buying some chicken and some steak, and that was that thing was in a lab literally a week ago, getting printed. This is the situation that we're in, man. This is no joke. This is no joke. Conditions that we're in. That's why we need to continue to sigh and cry to Yahweh Bashim Shai. The prophets did it often. They cried to the Lord. Well, I forgot. I think it's in Psalms, if I'm not mistaken. I think King David said it. Was it "How long, Lord"? Or maybe that was in Ezra. So, you know what? Probably multiple prophets have said, "How long, Lord?" Because this shit is out of control. When you sit there and really observe every little detail, it's out of order. It's out of pocket. Psalms 82:15. It says, "What? The earth is out of course." Look, man, you got women in the work field, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You got to sit there and be next to a woman. She's probably your goddamn boss. A little 5 foot two woman giving you orders, or a big Shirley, or one of these studs. They're giving you orders, telling you what to do, and you got to sit there and have a straight face and say, "Yo, yeah, yes, ma'am." Oh, well, shit. You might say yes, ma'am, to one of these people, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm a sir. We're gonna have to take you." And then later that day, you're gonna get a call from HR, right? And have you go to a goddamn seminar telling you how to deal with people's sexual orientation. This is the bugged out shit that we're living in right now. We got to get the fuck out of here. That's why I don't invest in this place. It's funny because you got this one fucking Fallout, this clown, all right, this goddamn knucklehead. They used to be in our camp, and he's always talking about investing. To this day, talking about investing. Investing in a world that's corrupt and that's circling down the drain. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Look, man, we're trying to store up our treasures in heaven. That's what we're investing in. Okay? That's the most important thing to do. Invest in this truth. Invest in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Not in a place that's about to get completely annihilated. Remember, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, look, Yahweh is going to send Yahushai back to this world. And as it says in the scriptures, the slain of the Lord shall be many. A lot of people are about to fucking die, man. And good. Good. These people are goddamn demons out here. They need to be exterminated, euthanized. They gotta go, because these people don't produce any righteous fruits, righteous works. These people do the bidding of Satan. They're all against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This whole system is completely anti-Messiah. Okay, anti-Yahweh Shai. And we see it every day. All day, every day. The second you wake up to the second you go to sleep, this place is dedicated towards the rebellion of Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. So to hell with this world. Hey, 1 John 2:15 says this: "Love not the world, neither the things that are done." You know what? Let me get it. I don't want to butcher it, man. I'm terrible at quoting scriptures, man. I'd rather just get them. This is 1 John 2:15. "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away." See? "And the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai abideth forever." You see? This world is passing away. And this world is nothing but full of pride, wickedness, evils, and rebellion. All right? That's it. And look, the Lord, he's about to reward his servants, the prophets, right? As the scriptures talk about in Revelation. And these men, they're going to be crowned with incorruptible crowns. And our memorial is going to be lasting forever. See, that's another thing too. You brothers got to think, you know, you know, you got to think past this place more and more and more. Like you got to really, really sit down and meditate on these things. Our name is going to be passed down from generation to generation to generation. Our works are going to be talked about. You know, because it talks about the memorial of a just man in the book of Sirach. You know, his name's not going to be forgotten. That's what's coming. And remember, the kingdom that's about to hit, right? That's about to come is going to be a world without end. Israel, world without end. That's the book of Isaiah. I think the 45th chapter. That's talking about our kingdom. What is that in Daniel's the second chapter, I believe? It says the saints, they're going to take the kingdom and they're going to possess it forever and ever. That's what's coming. Oh, mind you, we're going to be immortals too in the kingdom. This is what's coming. Man, fuck that 401k. Fuck that NBA contract. Fuck that deal with Sony. Fuck that deal with Netflix. I don't give a shit, man. Fuck this place, man. And anybody that gets these big contracts or whatever has a little bit in this world, they're all fucking depressed. And then 9 times out of 10, they're a fucking faggot too, man. I don't give a fuck. I'm being blunt. These people are bugged the hell out of in America, bro. All right. But hey, I'm gonna end this lesson. All right. I just wanted, to touch on that, that subject. Hey, brothers, just don't get too caught up in this world. I know sometimes you get busy with certain things. Things pop up. Completely understandable. But hey, just remain, focused. Keep your eyes single. Okay. And, just keep pushing. Keep serving Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Because this world doesn't have anything to offer us. The only thing that it can offer you is death. And look, we serve the power, that's all about life. And that's what we're trying to obtain. Immortality. All right. But I'm gonna end this lesson. Hopefully, it was edifying to whomever was watching. And with that, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Shem Shai. Also, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all your brothers out there. Shalom.